Bismillah, Alhamdulillah, As-salatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. We will continue the topic of relationship of two letters, and today we will discuss the next category of letters that is called Mutajaanisaan. Mutajaanisaan letters share the same makhraj, but they are different in sifat, such as letter ta, dal, and ta. They are coming from the same makhraj, from the top of the tip of the tongue plus the soft area of the gum line of upper two incisors, but they differ in sifat. For example, letter ta is a letter of hams, while letter dal and letter ta, both of them are letters of jahar. Letter ta has a tabaq and isti'ala, while letter dal and ta, they are letters of infitah and istifal. And if you see the next example, letter ba or letter mim, they are coming from the two lips, but they differ in sifat. Letter mim has gunna, ba doesn't have it. Letter ba is a letter of shidda, while letter mim is a letter of tawassut. So mutajaanisaan letters share the same makhraj, but they differ in one or more sifat. And just like mutamathilan letters, mutajaanisaan letters also appear in kabir, saghir, or mutlaq relationship. And when Mutajaanisaan letters appear next to each other within one word or between two words, and both of the letters are vowel or mutaharrik, we call this a kabir relationship. For example, here, letter Sin and letter Za, both of them are coming from the same makhraj, which is tip of the tongue plus the lower part of the inner surface of lower two incisors, but they are different in sifat. Sin is a letter of hams, while za is a letter of jahar. So when they appear next to each other, they are considered as mutajaanisaan letters. And since they are vowel, they are in a kabir relationship. And we recite an-nufusu zuwijat. And when mutajaanisaan letters appear next to each other within one word or between two separate words, where the first one is sakin and the second one is mutaharrik, this relationship is saghir relationship, such as in this example, fasfah anhum, where letter ha and letter ain, both of them are coming from the same makhraj. They are coming from the middle of the throat, but their sifat are different. Ha is a letter of hams, and ain is a letter of jahar. Ha is a letter of rakhawa, while ain is a letter of tawassut or bayniya. The first one is sakin and the second one is mutaharrik. This is considered as mutajaanisaan saghir relationship. When mutajaanisaan letters appear in a way that the first letter is vowel and the second one is sakin, this is called mutlaq, and the rule to read is always idhar. You can see in this example, أفتطمعون. Letter ta and letter ta, they share the same makhraj, but they differ in sifat, where ta is a letter of hams, istifal, infitah, while ta is a letter of ittabaq and isti'ala, and when sakin, it carries a qalqala. The first one is vowel and the second one is sakin. This is a mutlaq relationship. And when letters are in a mutlaq relationship, the rule to read them is always idhar. But when mutajaanisaan letters appear in a saghir or kabir relationship, we will see whether to read them with idhar or there is any possibility or requirement to merge the first letter into the second one. We will start with mutajaanisaan saghir relationship, the small relationship between two similar letters. In mutajaanisaan letters, the saghir relationship is not always idgham, just like in mutamathilan letters, where in most of the cases we were applying the rules of idgham with only two exceptions. Rather, the general rule in mutajaanisaan saghir relationship is idhar. We read both of the letters clearly, and we can see here in this example that letter ha and letter ain, they are next to each other. They are mutajaanisaan letters because they share the same makhraj, but they differ in sifat. Letter ha is a letter of hams and rakhawa, while letter ain is a letter of jahar and tawassut, but we recite both of them clearly like this. فَاصْفَحْ عَنْهُمْ. And in the next example, we can see letter sheen and letter ya. They are mutajaanisaan letters because they share the same makhraj. They are coming from the middle of the tongue, but they differ in sifat. Letter sheen is a letter of hams, while letter ya is a letter of jahar. And letter sheen also carries the characteristic of tafashi. And when letter ya is sakin preceded by a fatha, it carries the characteristic of lean. And they are in a saghir relationship. Letter sheen is sakin, where the letter ya has a fatha, but we recite both of these letters clearly. Ashya. In the next example, we can see letter meme and letter waw. Both of them are coming from the lips, but they differ in sifat. Letter meme is a letter of tawassut or bayniya, while letter waw is a letter of rakhawa. Letter meme carries the characteristic of gunna, while waw does not have it. And when letter waw is in a lean condition, it carries the characteristic of lean. They are mutajaanisaan letters. They are appearing next to each other in a saghir relationship, but we recite both of them with idhar like this. Amwalukum. But there are certain mutajaanisaan letters when they appear in a saghir relationship. The rule to read them is not idhar, rather we read them with idgham. When letter ba is followed by letter meme, when letter tha is followed by letter zal, when letter zal is followed by letter dha, when letter dal is followed by letter ta, when letter ta is followed by letter ta, when letter ta is followed by letter dal, and when letter ta is followed by letter ta. And now we will see them in detail with examples. In total, there are 7 different situations. In 6 of these situations, we apply the rule of idgham kamil, complete merging, where the first letter will completely merge into the second one so that none of its characteristic or sifa is left behind. The first letter will completely lose its makhraj and all the characteristics. And in Uthmani script, you will find a shadda on the second letter, and the first letter will be free of any sign, not even a sukun. And the first situation is when letter ba is followed by letter meme. Letter ba and letter meme both are coming from the lips. They share the same makhraj, but they differ in sifat. Ba is a shidda letter, while meme is tawassut or bayniya. Meme has a gunna and ba doesn't have a gunna. And when ba is sakin, it carries the sifa of qalqala. So they differ in sifat. However, they share the same makhraj. So when a sakin letter ba is followed by mutaharrik letter meme, and this only occurs once in the Quran in Surah Hud, ayah number 42, we will completely merge letter ba into the following letter, which is meme. This idgham will be idgham kamil. Instead of reciting letter ba and saying it like this, irkab ma'ana, we'll go straight away to letter meme, and we will give a most complete gunna here, which of course is coming from letter meme. And this is how we will recite it. Irkam ma'ana. Irkam ma'ana. And you can hear the gunna. We'll give the timing of most complete gunna. This idgham will be idgham kamil, and we will call it idgham mutajaanisaan saghir. And also note this point down. If letter meme comes before letter ba and letter meme is sakin and letter ba is mutaharrik, we apply the rule of ikhfa al-shafawi. There is no idgham in that case. And we have already discussed this rule in the rules of meme sakina. The next situation is when letter tha is followed by letter zal, and letter tha and letter zal, both of them are coming from the tip of the tongue plus the bottom edges of the upper 2 incisors. But there is only one characteristic in which they differ. Letter tha is a letter of hams and letter zal is a letter of jahar. And that's the only sifa where they differ. And this situation only occurs once in the Quran in Surah Al-A'raf, ayah number 176, where they appear in a saghir relationship where letter tha is the first sakin letter and letter zal is mutaharrik. If we choose to continue our recitation and we do not stop at the first word. In that case, when two letters are meeting together, since they are Mutajaanisaan letters, they appear in a Saghir relationship. We apply the rule of idgham kamil. We will directly go to letter Zal, and we will not recite letter Tha. We will not do izhar of letter Tha in case of continuation. We will not recite it like this, yalhath dhalika. Instead, we will do idgham kamil, and we will recite this example by going directly to letter Zal like this. Yalhath dhalika, yalhath dhalika. The next situation is when letter Zal is followed by letter Dha. Letter Zal and letter Dha are coming from the same makhraj, which is the tip of the tongue touching the bottom edges of upper two incisors, but they differ in sifat, where letter Dha is a letter of itabaq and isti'ala, while letter Zal is infitah and istifal. But when letter Zal and letter Dha, they come next to each other, where Zal is the first of the Mutajaanisaan letters and Dha is the second, and they are in a Saghir relationship. This only occurs twice in the Quran. The first one is Surah An-Nisa, ayah number 64. And instead of reciting letter Zal, we will go directly to letter Dha, and we will merge letter Zal into letter Dha. This merging will be a complete merging. We will call this idgham kamil, and this is how we will recite it. Izzalamu, izzalamu. And just like this in Surah Zukhruf, ayah number 39, when letter Zal and letter Dha are in a Saghir relationship, where letter Zal is the first one, we will do idgham kamil here. We will directly go to letter Dha, and this is how we will recite it. Izzalamtum, izzalamtum. And we will not recite letter Zal at all. We will not do izhar of letter Zal like this. Izzalamtum. This is not how we will recite it. In fact, by doing idgham kamil, we will recite it like this. Izzalamtum. Next situation occurs when letter Dal is followed by letter Ta, and this occurs many times in the Quran. As we know, letter Dal and letter Ta are coming from the same makhraj, which is from the top of the tip of the tongue, plus the soft area above the gum line of upper two incisors, but they differ in sifat. Letter Dal is a letter of Jahar and letter Ta is a letter of Hams. And when Sakin, letter Dal has a qalqala. However, when letter Dal and letter Ta appear next to each other in a Saghir relationship, they are considered as Mutajaanisaan Saghir relationship, and this occurs many times in the Quran. And in this case, we completely merge letter Dal into letter Ta. This idgham will be idgham kamil. We will directly go to letter Ta, and we will not recite letter Dal. So we can see in this example, instead of reciting letter Dal with the qalqala and doing izhar of letter Dal like this, قَدْ تَبَيَّنَ, I will recite it like this. قَدْ تَبَيَّنَ, قَدْ تَبَيَّنَ. And you will not hear any sound of letter Dal because letter Dal has completely merged into letter Ta, and that's why letter Ta has a shadda, which is an indication in Osmani script of idgham kamil. Another example from Surah Al-Kafirun, ayah number 4, the word is a'battum. We will not recite letter Dal, and we will directly go to letter Ta. That's why you can see letter Ta has a shadda indicating idgham kamil. And instead of reciting it like this, abadtum, we recite it like this, abattum, abattum. So whenever in the Quran we find letter Dal is followed by letter Ta in a Saghir relationship, we will merge letter Dal into letter Ta, and this idgham will be idgham kamil of Mutajaanisaan letters where they are in a Saghir relationship. And we will call this relationship idgham Mutajaanisaan Saghir relationship. And the next situation comes when letter ta is followed by letter dal, when they appear in a saghir relationship where a sakin ta is the first letter and mutaharrik dal is the second letter. And this only occurs twice in the Quran, as discussed earlier, that letter ta and letter dal are coming from the same makhraj, although they are different in sifat. And in this case, we will completely merge letter ta into letter dal. That's the reason the letter dal carries a shadda, indicating idgham kamil. And instead of reciting letter ta, we will directly go to letter dal. And these two words, instead of reciting them like this, أثقلت دعوى, doing izhar of letter ta, giving the hums of letter ta, we will directly go to letter dal, and this is how we will recite it. أثقلت دعوى, أثقلت دعوى. And the next example is in Surah Yunus, ayah number 89. And we will completely merge letter ta into letter dal. We will do idgham kamil. And instead of reciting letter ta with idhar, ujibat da'awatukuma, we will recite it like this. Ujibat da'awatukuma. Ujibat da'awatukuma. And this idgham will be idgham kamil of Mutajaanisaan letters where they are in a saghir relationship. And when letter ta is followed by letter ta, this occurs many times in the Quran. Letter ta and letter ta are coming from the same makhraj. They are coming from the tip of the tongue plus the soft area above the gum line of the upper two incisors. Letter ta is a letter of jahar, while letter ta is a letter of hams. Letter ta has itbaq and isti'ala, while letter ta is a letter of infitah and istifal. And when sakin, letter ta has a qalqala. So they share the same makhraj, but they differ in sifat. So when the situation occurs where letter ta and letter ta are coming together, where letter ta is the first of the Mutajaanisaan letters and letter ta is after it, and they are in a saghir relationship. This occurs many times in the Quran, and we will apply the rule of idgham kamil. We will directly go to letter ta. We will not recite letter ta with idhar by giving its hums. No tarqiq of letter ta. Instead, we will directly go to letter ta, and we will recite it like this. هم الطائفتان, هم الطائفتان. And I should not be saying it like this. همت طائفتان, because now I'm reciting letter ta with idhar. Instead of doing this, I will do idgham kamil and I will go directly to letter ta. And this is how I will recite it. همت طائفتان. And this idgham is called idgham mutajaanisaan saghir. And the next situation is when letter ta is followed by letter ta. And as discussed earlier, letter ta and letter ta are coming from the same makhraj, but they are different in sifat. But when letter ta and letter ta come together in a saghir relationship, where ta is the first sakin letter and letter ta is coming right after it as a mutaharrik letter, and this only occurs 4 times in the Quran, we will apply the rule of idgham, but this idgham will be idgham naqis, the incomplete merging. That means some of the characteristics or sifat of the first sakin letter, which in this case is letter ta, so some of the characteristics of letter ta will be left behind. And in Usmani script, you will find letter ta written without any sign, and you will not find shadda on letter ta. And the first example is in Suratul Ma'idah, ayah number 28. You can see letter ta and letter ta. They are Mutajaanisaan letters, and they are appearing in a saghir relationship. And upon doing idgham, we will give the heaviness of letter ta, but after giving only the heaviness of letter ta, but not the sifa of qalqala, at the end we will pronounce letter ta like this. Basaqta, basaqta. And you can hear that I am giving the heaviness of letter ta, but at the end I am reciting letter ta. I should not be doing like this, basatta or basatta. Both of them are not correct. I should be giving only the itabaq or isti'ala or tafqim of letter ta, only these characteristics of letter ta, but there will be no qalqala for letter ta. And then at the end, the sound of letter ta is coming. Basatta, basatta. Just like this in Surah An-Namal, ayah number 22. Ahattu, ahattu. In Surah Yusuf, ayah number 80. Farrattum, farrattum. Surah Zumur, ayah number 56. Farrattu, farrattu. So in all these four places, we will give the heaviness of letter ta, but then come out with letter ta at the end. That's why this idgham is idgham naqis and not kamil, because some of the characteristics of the first letter ta are left behind, and we will call this idgham mutajaanisaan saghir. So these are the only Mutajaanisaan letters that we have just discussed, where we will apply the rule of idgham when they are in a saghir relationship. Otherwise, we will always apply the rule of idhar when Mutajaanisaan letters are in a saghir relationship. And when Mutajaanisaan letters or two similar letters appear together in a kabir relationship, where both of the letters that are next to each other are voweled or mutaharrik, either in one word or between two separate words, we will recite them both with idhar, that is clearly at all times, and there is no exception to this rule. And we call this idhar mutajaanisaan kabir relationship. And we can see some examples here. Letter Sin and letter Za, they are mutajaanisaan letters and they are next to each other in a kabir relationship. We recite both of them with idhar like this. An-nufusu zuwijat. Letter Ta and letter Ta, they are mutajaanisaan letters in a kabir relationship, and we will recite both of them with idhar like this. As-salihati tuba. And letter Dal and letter Ta, when they are in a kabir relationship, we will recite them with idhar like this. Ba'ada tawkidiha. And there is no exception to this rule. This way, alhamdulillah, we have finished Mutajaanisaan letters. Insha'Allah, we will continue with the same topic, and in our next class, we will discuss the rules of Mutaqariban letters. I hope the rule of Mutajaanisaan is clear to you. Jazakumullahu khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.